Alright guys, so you guys already know the drill. Whenever a new set of buffs and nerfs come out along with the new season, I always get on top of it and make a video on the top 5 best weapons. So that is what I'm going to be doing today for you guys. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. But before we do get on with this video, huge shout out to CODM for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to find out some more information on that, make sure to click the link at the top of the description and let's get on with the action. Alright guys, now before we do start off with our top 5 list, you guys already know we're going to have to give out some honorable mentions to 2 weapons. And the first one we are going to be talking about is the only, the KSP. Now, unfortunately, the KSP did get a nerf right after it got a huge amount of buffs towards it, making it the #1 gun in the game. And in Stage 4, we actually used this weapon alongside a bunch of pro players, and it was actually the weapon that got me the win in the Stage 4 CODM Championship. If you guys are unaware, we did end up winning that, which is a huge W. Huge shout out to Tribe and our team for getting that W. It was a big event, and I actually had a lot of fun. But yeah, the KSP is still a pretty viable weapon if you guys are into the whole burst close range SMG style. Me personally, I would definitely still use this if I want to have some fun and go in some ranked matches and just drop casual nukes. But unfortunately, it will no longer be the #1 gun. But you guys will end up finding out what the #1 gun is later on into the video, so be on the lookout for that. And last but not least, the second honorable mention that we do have for today's video is none other than the QQ9. Now, the QQ9, in my opinion, is a pretty good SMG to use, but after you guys look at the list and find out what other guns there are that are competing against this weapon, you guys will understand why I did not put it on my top 5 list. But the mobility and the overall damage when it comes to it being known as an SMG is pretty good and is actually really fun. I do wish that this weapon at some point will become a meta weapon in terms of it being over abused with the actual comp scene to the point where it's going to be a 10-man QQ9, because this is probably by far up there with being one of my favorite metas when it came to the SMGs metas. But without further ado, let's get on with the official top 5 list. Alright guys, so up on number 5 we do have the UL, also known as the UL736. Now, if you guys are unaware, the UL did get a huge buff in Season 7, and me personally, I did not expect it to be a viable weapon when I did make my top 5 guns for Season 7. But after some further testing and a lot of players starting to use this weapon a lot more in competitive, I decided to give it a shot, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is by far probably one of the best LMGs that are out right now in COD Mobile. Not only is it a 3-shot weapon, it also has a good sense of damage, a good sense of mobility for it being an LMG, and the overall recoil control of this weapon is pretty easy to get the hang of as long as you guys pull down. So I'm gonna tell you guys this right now, if you guys are looking for a long range weapon that can act out as a good enough mobility weapon, this is the weapon to go to. Up on the screen right now is my setup if you guys would like to give it a shot. But now that we're done with number 5, let's get on with number 4. Alright guys, so coming up at number 4, we do have the only, the GKS, which has been a top 5 weapon for a bit now. Now, me personally, I'm not really that big of a fan when it comes to using this weapon because it doesn't really fit my playstyle, but for a player that is good with using both ARs and SMGs and likes to mix them both together, this is the weapon to go to because it can be an AR when you want it to be an AR, and it can also be an SMG when you want it to be an SMG. So if you guys are looking for a mix of both, this is the weapon for you because it is hard hitting, it is 3-shot, it has great mobility, it has great damage, and it can shred any weapon no matter what, as long as you do play your distance and watch out for the fast killing SMGs, which we will be talking about later on into the video. But up on the screen right now will be the class setup that I would recommend using. Shout out to Tectonic, you guys already know he is the person that made this weapon popular back in 2020 because he used this when everybody else was using the meta weapons, and he actually did get the MVP award for it, which is pretty sick. But now that we're done talking about the number 4 weapon in the game, let's get on with number 3. Alright guys, now up on number 3, we do have the Kilo 141. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm as surprised as you guys are as to why this weapon has not been nerfed yet and how it is still on the top 5 list, but I'm not complaining. I actually enjoy using this weapon. It is perfectly balanced in my opinion when it comes to using an AR, and it is actually pretty good even when it comes to close range. But if you guys are those people that love abusing head glitches and love playing those long lanes, this is the weapon for you, especially since it is going to be able to outgun the top 3 weapons that I'm going to be going ahead and talk to you guys about once I'm done explaining this gun. But up on the screen right now is the setup. Now you guys can honestly use this if if you guys do prefer mobility, but if you guys do prefer BSA and the overall control, you guys can feel free to switch it up and use the OWC marksman. But me personally, I don't recommend that because I am an aggro and I am a mobility based player. But if you guys are different, make sure you guys play around with it and let me know what you guys think about this setup, and let's get on with our top 2 guns left on this video. Now, up on number 2, this may not be a surprise to you guys, but it is the one, the only, the Peacekeeper, which I'm super glad that it is gonna be viable enough for this season to be used, because I love the Mythic Peacekeeper. I personally think it is one of the best Mythic skins in this game, especially since it has that sprint animation. But the other good thing about this weapon is the fact that it is an AR, but it does seem like it's an SMG with the way it has the fire rate to it, the mobility, the overall close range damage. It can basically be acted out as an SMG, and I'm not complaining because I love my SMGs, and it is yet again another hybrid SMG AR weapon like the GKS. So if you guys like a mix of both and love building it out to be an SMG, this is the setup to use. And let me tell you guys this right now, you guys should definitely abuse this gun while you can, because you guys will go up against this weapon every single ranked game, and I can promise you that. But another weapon that is going to be getting abused is this next one that I'm about to be talking about right now. Alright guys, now for the moment you guys have been waiting for, we are in the number 1 scenery for the best gun in the game, and that is going to be none other than the Switchblade. This was probably an obvious one because I did not talk about this weapon at all, but I'm actually pretty surprised that this weapon got a buff as fast as it did. I thought the KSP meta was going to be meta for another month or 2, but Kama will prove us wrong, and I'm actually pretty excited for that, because after playing the CODM Stage 4 World Championship for as long as I did and using the same weapon over and over again, it felt pretty nice that coming into the global version of this game, we are going to be playing with a new meta, and I'm actually pretty excited for it because it is an SMG, and you guys already know how I feel about my SMGs. I am absolutely in love with them. I love SMG metas no matter what, and this weapon itself has great sense of fire rate, a great sense of damage, and an absolutely amazing sense of mobility, which is my favorite thing to do when it comes to abusing an SMG. So make sure you guys use this build up on the screen right now. It is by far the best build. I do have another variation, but that will be used for another day. I will not be talking about it. But without further ado, if you guys did enjoy my top 5 best guns for Season 8, if you guys agree or don't agree with my list, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.